What's up guys, Jake here with Josh's Frogs. Last time we spoke, we talked a little bit about collecting dart frog eggs as well as caring for them. In this video, we're going to continue with that with dart frog tadpole care, just a super simple, easy way to raise your dart frog tadpoles. So to start off, you'll obviously need tadpoles. These are some Dendrobates auratus elcope tadpoles. You'll notice that they're hatched when like the goo surrounding the egg is basically gone and the tadpole will be like straightened out like this. These guys are free swimming. Sometimes you'll notice that they'll have some red sort of frills. Those are actually their gills. They will absorb those. And generally we leave our tadpoles in these cups until the gills go away. As you can see with these guys, they're no gills, so they're ready to go. So to start off, you'll need one of these cups. All of this stuff that you see here in this video, for the most part, comes in our dart frog tadpole kit, as well as if you don't have any dart frogs now and you want to raise a tadpole, we also sell those on our website as well. But to start off, we'll start off with this 32-ounce cup. Now, tadpoles require what's known in the hobby as tadpole tea. This is either reverse osmosis water, distilled, or like bottled spring water mixed with Indian almond leaves. We generally recommend either a half to a whole almond leaf per gallon. Now, we work with thousands of tadpoles, so we make ours by the 5-gallon bucket. And as you can see, it's basically just darker water. It's really, really important though. This is probably like the most crucial thing, is getting these dark tannins in the water. They're just really, really good for your tadpole, and it's basically a necessity. So to start off, we'll get some tadpole tea. Probably about, this is an 8-ounce cup, so this is probably like 16 to 20 ounces of tadpole tea. This is sufficient. You could probably go a little less. Not the biggest deal in the world, but now we've got our tadpole tea ready to go. We also like to add an Indian almond leaf, a little piece of it. If you look on our website, it says to cut a 1-inch square out of the leaf. Now, I don't think the tadpoles really care about geometry. You could just rip off a piece like this. If you wanted to cut it into a different polygon, like a rhombus or something, I think that would be fine too. I don't think they would care, but something about that size. And you'll just put that in there. It'll sink, it'll add more tannins to the water, as well as the tadpoles will actually eat on it a little bit, which is good. And one other thing that you can add, it isn't necessary, but I like to add it with some of my species that I keep, is Java moss. And there are other aquatic plants you can use, but Java moss is pretty nice. It'll just help you like oxygenate the water a little bit more. And I would probably use maybe a little bit, something like that. Get that in there. You can also use tap water to make tadpole tea, but it's important to use this dechlorinator, which will come in your tadpole kit. Just make sure to let it sit for about 24 hours before you use it. And here at Josh's Frogs, like I mentioned, we work with thousands of tadpoles, so it's really important for us to mark the cup with the species on it. We've got these labels for our species. So like I said, this is an elcope, this is elcope 8. So I'll write that with the date as well. What's the date?
April 13th.
Sweet. So when you're all finished, your setup will look something like this. It's very simple, but very effective. Most dart frog breeders raise their tadpoles something similar to this. So over here, if you remember last time, we have our methylene blue. This just helps disinfect the baser. Like I said, we were working with so many tadpoles. And with dart frog tadpoles, you'll want to go 1 per cup because they can be cannibalistic. So here, we'll just take one of these guys here and then gently put him in his new home like that. If your tadpole's like not doing a whole lot, moving around right away, that's totally fine. That's pretty standard with new tadpoles. A lot of the time, they'll still be absorbing their yolk. And then as far as the actual care, once you've got your tadpole set up, it's super easy. We feed ours twice a week. We feed them this Josh's Frogs blend dart frog tadpole food. This has everything that you'll need to raise your tadpoles. And like I said, this will come with your dart frog care kit. And we keep ours in something like this. If you'll notice the bottom, there's some like dust. The dust is actually really important as well. So if you want to like shake up your tadpole food a little bit, get that dust on there. And we feed ours 1 pellet twice a week. So you would just drop it in like so. It'll sink to the bottom, and as it absorbs water. It'll be softer for your tadpole to eat. And then on days that we feed, we also will clean out the cups. So generally, we like to take the baster and then, I know this is a brand new piece of food, but get all the excess food out that isn't eaten, put it into a waste cup right here, and then remove between 1/4 and 1/2 of the total water volume and do a partial water change. In the wild, the tadpoles will actually be flushed out entirely during most of the year because of the heavy rains. So if you wanted to, you could dump out all of the water, but we like to leave a little bit just for any like good bacteria to remain. So something like that. And then we do this twice a week as well. Every time we feed, we remove the old food, add new food, and change the water. So let's go ahead and top that off again. And yeah, that's basically the extent of the actual care that you need to put in. As you raise your frog, but it'll morph out between 1 to 2 months depending on the temperature. And while we're talking about temperature, tadpoles do really well at like normal human temperature. So unless you live in like a really cold basement, you probably won't need any sort of external heat. Now a tadpole kept at a higher temperature, closer to 80, will morph out faster, although it will be smaller when it morphs out. And then obviously ones that are raised at a cooler temperature will grow slower, but they'll be bigger when they morph out. So this is our fresh day 1 tadpole. Here we have the same species, but it's got little tiny back legs. They will grow the back legs before the front arms. And so you can see this guy is a few weeks old. He's growing quite a bit and he's got little tiny back legs. And then as they continue to grow, they'll get larger, more robust legs. And then you can see this guy has one of his arms poking out. This is normal. Sometimes they don't get both at once. Nothing to be alarmed about. And then finally, we have this guy's probably a couple months old. This is basically your finished product, so to speak. He's got all 4 limbs. Once your tadpole grows either 3 or 4 limbs, like I said, they don't always appear at the same time. But once they look something like this, you'll want to remove about most of the water and leave about that much. That way your frog doesn't drown, because this is the point where it's going to lose its gills completely and climb out of the water. So to give it the best chance to do that, we remove most of the water. It's important to get a lid, which will come with your dart frog kit. That way they don't climb right out of the top. And we keep them on a rack like this at 45 degrees. This gives them a little space here as well as here to climb out of the water. And then once they climb out of the water, then they're ready to be placed in a bin like this. And they're ready to go. You've got yourself a healthy froglet.
Thanks so much for watching this video. Here at Josh's Frogs, bringing nature to your doorstep is more than just our mission, it's our passion. We want you to have the most successful experience possible, so we're going to be here for you before, during, and after your purchase, whether that's with our captive-bred animals, plants, insects, or the wide variety of their care products on our website. You always have access to our dedicated customer service team, on-site nature experts, hundreds of free articles via our blog, and many more videos right here on our YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe. We're always happy to help. Just shoot us an email or give us a call. You can find all of this information and more at joshsfrogs.com. Thanks again, and see you next time.